are live. Hi everyone, and welcome to my latest live stream. I've been kind of doing. I did a live stream on Sunday, and I kind of enjoyed doing it because it was so spontaneous. And so I thought I'll do another one today. I've just finished doing some packaging and a bit of listing. And I thought I'd take this time to just go through because I've not been doing sales reports because I got a little bit bored of doing them, to be honest, like the regular weekly ones. So instead, I thought what I'd do is go through some of my more interesting sales that I've had so far this month in May. May so far has been pretty good. We're into the last week of it now. It's been actually very decent considering the time of year, so I'm happy. I've managed to get my listings up, so no doubt that's helped. I'm nearly at 500 listings as I make this stream, so I'm pretty pleased with that as well. And it's just hopefully onwards and upwards. So what I'm going to do is just go through with you guys some of my more interesting sales that I've made this month. So without too much yakking, I'm going to just get into that. Now, the first item I want to share is this homebrew, homemade DIY hi-fi thing. Now, this was a bit of a weird sale. I picked this up for £6 at my local auction house, and I don't think many people knew what it was, or if they did know, they just didn't want any part of it because it was actually quite a bulky pickup as pickups go. It wasn't an easy thing to pick up. You can see that it's quite large. It's quite hefty, quite dirty looking thing there, and it had a few of these tubes there as well, which is pretty cool. And no doubt this was some kind of what it seemed to me anyway to be some kind of a home amplifier or home hi-fi system, because obviously it's got tape, mic, radio, etc. there, all the different selectors, and some guy obviously was making his own hi-fi. Now this is not completely weird. A lot of people do homebrew hi-fi, as they call it. That's what I named it as. Now I put this up quite a while back at about 100 and something pounds, and then I dropped it to 120. And every time it was being listed, I was picking up a couple of watches, but I never really got any interest other than just a few watches. So I'm guessing because I didn't know exactly what I had, I didn't actually test it. I didn't actually test it properly or anything like that. I was just selling it for parts not working. I don't know what's in it. I didn't know the components because my knowledge isn't that good with these items. With these types of items, so I decided to just price it up at 119, and I took a best offer of £40, so a lot less, but it was it was taking up a lot of space, and from 6 to 40, I still can't really complain too much. It's still a good flip. It's not actually that bad to package. Once you get used to packaging bulky items, then things like this really don't phase you. As long as you've got enough cardboard and as long as you've got enough bubble wrap, that you're going to be absolutely fine. So I didn't get 120. I got 40 for that, but I was still happy considering I paid 6 originally for it. So that's something that I'm quite happy to take. Next item. So these are going to be, there's 40 items I think that I've actually got here. So yeah, this is 40 items that I've sold so far this month. So I'm going to move on to item number 2. Just thought I'd share this one with you guys because it's an interesting one for me. I don't often sell many tins. It's not really my thing. But I got, for this one, I took an offer as well. I had it up for £20 plus £2.70 shipping. I think I took an offer of just £12, but again, I just wanted to get rid. I've got a lot of these tins, and I want to try to clear through them. So if I'm getting offers, I'm more than open to looking at taking offers, because I've got a lot of these, and I really don't have much money invested. I think I picked up a big crate of tins for about 20 quid, and I'm already into profit on them. With what I've sold. So whatever these sell for is going to be profit anyway. But again, it's quite a nice looking tin. It's got like the signs of the zodiac on it. And I'm no doubt, I mean, if it was in better condition, maybe it would have achieved £20. But I'm still happy with what I managed to get as it is. So a bit out of my normal comfort zone. But you've got to try these things, and I'm glad that I did try because otherwise I won't learn. Um, Next item. Um, this is a Sony NetMD mini disc player. I sold this as for spares or repair. Unfortunately, this is the one which uses a gum stick battery. So if you're out and you're looking at Sony mini disc players, some of them you'll be lucky that you'll be able to use an AA battery and put it inside the machine. In this particular case, this machine has a slot for a gum stick battery, which is like these thin rechargeable batteries, which should have gone in there. And I didn't have that, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. And when it comes to using a normal battery, these have like a piggyback clip-on device which screws onto the side and allows you to use a regular battery, and I didn't have that either. And even though I was pretty certain it was going to work because I bought it in a lot at auction with like another mini disc which works fine, I couldn't sell it as working. So in the end, I sold it for £16 plus shipping of 270, which is pretty cheap. But I didn't have much in it. So I maybe tops £3, £5 tops, but I doubt it. So because I couldn't test it, it was a bit of a bummer. Next item. This is a really good one as well. This is a game to look out for if you're out and about. And this is Kirby Mouse Attack on the Nintendo DS. Now, this I got as a bundle. I picked up a massive bundle of DS games very cheaply. I think maybe for it worked out that I was only paying 30 to 50p each game, so I can't go wrong with that. And I've already sold a bunch of other games, but this is the most valuable one out of the lot. And I got top price for it pretty much. I'm pretty by the looks of it. Kirby Mouse Attacks DS. So you can see my main photo. I always do like an exploded view. I used to just take the photo of the front of the game, and it doesn't really tell you much. Whereas if you do this exploded view, so show the potential buyer that it comes with the case, the manuals, and the other bits, and the cartridge, then they're going to be more happy. And like I said, I got £24.49 with free shipping on that one. Moving on, now this is something that's quite interesting. Again, I don't think I paid more than 50 pence for these glasses cases. Sorry, these glasses. And these are Ladies Red or Dead Specsavers glasses frames with a tiger stripe pattern. I just mentioned that they've still got the original prescription lenses in there, so you have to obviously take those out to use them, and then you always have to mention those measurements, the 5218 to 135. I can't remember what they mean, but at the time I did work out what they meant. I just put it in the title as 5218 135, and most people that are looking for glasses will know what their measurements are. I think one of them is like a measurement for like the bridge of the nose and whatnot. So it's just something to know, obviously, when you're selling these glasses. So that was a quite easy sell. So if you're out, look out for these. You'll often see tons and tons of glasses, old glasses frames and glasses that are being sold at boot fairs and whatnot. And some of them can be worth okay money. I mean, £13.64 weighs nothing. Nice and easy to package as well. Moving on. Another game, now this is from that same lot of video games that I picked up from where I showed you the Kirby game. So this is another one. Now the reason why I've put this into the video is because it doesn't look like it's a valuable game. It's another one of these puzzling games that the Nintendo DS had tons of these kind of puzzle type games, a lot of them, these casual games as they were, like for a long journey. And most of them aren't worth much, but Henry Hatsworth still managed to get me £7.34, which I was very happy with. I was quite surprised that it does pick up that kind of value, but that's not bad at all, considering most of these games wouldn't really be worth doing unless they were like bundled up. Next item. Now this is quite cool. I've been getting into selling like vintage caps recently, kind of vintage or older baseball caps, and sometimes you just have to look out for things which are a bit more peculiar. I'm old enough to remember these adverts on TV, and that's the only reason I know it. I'm not a beer drinker, but or lager drinker. I don't like that stuff. Cars on Mine Forex. I remember these ads on the TV all the time when I was younger. So this cap I knew would have some kind of attraction to someone, and I got this cap for again pennies really because I got a whole bunch of these baseball caps together, and I paid a few quid for them, so it's owing me in the pennies. Um, it's used cap, but it's pretty cool. 100% cotton, 58 centimeters, baseball cap, and it went for 20.99. So pretty happy with that. A good price for it. I could have potentially gotten a bit more, but just going by what else is out there and how it's priced, I thought £21 is pretty decent. So that's something I'm quite happy to have gotten. All right. Now this is pretty cool. Um, this is or how have I described it? A civil service black leather attaché briefcase satchel. So I've used all the words. 1980 chainy lock as well. So really nice looking case. You can see it's in excellent condition. Mark 1982. It's got a chainy lock on it. And this is actually quite interesting because I've undersold this. I didn't pay much for this. I think I paid like £3 or something along those lines, and I accepted an offer of I think 40 or 45. I think it was something along those lines, and the guy wrote to me, and I thought there was no key with it. The guy wrote to me saying it was in better condition than you described. It looks like it's barely ever been used. The key was still inside. It was tucked away. Thank you so much. If you ever find any more like this, please let me know. I'd love to buy them. So obviously the guy has gotten himself a good deal, and I'm happy with him getting a good deal, to be honest, because I made plenty of profit out of it. But it does show the importance of being that extra bit vigilant because I could have probably held out and gotten a little bit more money than I did. So not knowing about the keys is quite a big faux pas. I'm not too concerned about him mentioning that it was in better condition than he expected. I always prefer to over deliver, like undersell and over deliver, as it were. I don't like the customers to have expectations of they're going to receive an amazing item. So even if an item is in amazing condition, I won't put it's in amazing condition just because personally I prefer just doing it this way. I prefer just to kind of say, oh, it's in good condition, but it does have some marks on wear because at the end of the day, 99% of the items I'm picking up are used and do have some kind of wear. So I was overall happy with that sale. Next item, this is quite interesting. I paid £1 for this, I think, at the boot fair. Now, this is a like a one of those dictaphone type stenography machines. Now, it's really old. It's a Philips. You can see it's made in Austria. You can just tell by the basic design, the functional, the buttons that it has. It's very old. It's from the 60s. Unfortunately, it was faulty. When I plugged it in, there was some signs of life, but the spools weren't turning. It probably needed a good service to get it running. However, because of its rarity, I didn't actually get 35. I got £30 for it, and I was more than happy to take £30 for a faulty machine that I paid £1 for. Obviously, if you know how to open these things up, get them working, change the belts over, then you could definitely do that, service them up, and get more money. But for me personally, I was pretty happy to take £30 for them. Moving on, another baseball cap. It just says property of New York NY Athletics. It's just a cool old cap. I didn't really know if this would sell, but it did, and I got 15.74 for it. So baseball caps, look out for them. And when I say look out for them, I don't mean just get the regular kind of caps where you're just getting the ones with NY written on them, or the normal kind of modern baseball caps. There's so many of them, and there's so many reproductions of them. They're not necessarily going to be worth it. You want something with a unique kind of logo on it. You don't want something which has just got just the regular stuff. Everyone's got NY caps or whatever they are. They're boring, quite frankly, and they're not going to achieve the kind of money. I know that from personal experience because I've actually got some listed which have been sat there without anyone even making an offer, and I'm asking like a lot less money than I am for these caps. So these caps are bringing much better money for me. So it's definitely worth bearing that in mind when you're out looking at caps. to kind of look for ones that are, look for ones that are actually gonna bring you value. So definitely good sell there, 1574. Next item, pair of Converse shoes with an All-Star Union Jack distressed design. At first, I just thought they were really worn, but then doing a bit of research, they were meant to look worn. It's a distressed design, so again, research does help. Otherwise, I could have undersold these and said, "Oh, they're really worn, they're faded, blah blah blah." But that's not the case. They're meant to look that way. I did put these through the wash as well because they did have a bit of yellowing, which didn't come out, unfortunately. And you can see they've got some like wear there on the backs. So I showed all of that. I think I paid, I can't remember. I think I paid £2 for these. So to get £29 is a very good result. So I'm happy with that. Next sale, I've been sat on this for absolutely ages. This is a Nintendo Super NES. I just never got around to listing it. I know that it works because ages ago I had a NES console and that had a power supply, and so I was able to test this out and play a few games on it, and it works perfectly. But I didn't have a power supply for for this itself. I know you can buy them pretty cheap, but also the controller that I has like a really damaged wire, so that wouldn't have been great to sell. And this has got some severe yellowing on it as well to the case. But considering what I paid for it, I got it in a job lot at auction, which I paid £15, and it had like Game Boy in there and other bits as well. So considering all that, I got sold this for £33, and I'm pretty happy to get rid. Next item. Now this is another one that I think I overpaid. I paid £15 for this. I bought this old Sharp stereo music system just because it looks so cool. It had a lot of yellowing, probably from a smoker's house, or it could have just been from age. But a lot of yellowing. The tape deck didn't work properly. The LP player, the record player deck did work. But this thing was huge. Now I'm okay with shipping most items, but I drew the line at this because of the size of it, but also because it also had a record player. If it's a small record player, I will take the time and package it carefully and ship it. But such a large system with a record player, it would have been a right nightmare, especially with the speakers and everything. And this thing weighed a ton. It was just even beyond my kind of. I think I drew the line at shipping something like this. So I had this up at collection only, which meant I couldn't get as much money as I wanted. In the end, I took an offer of £30, and the guy came and collected it the other day. So I'm happy it's gone. It's a good working condition apart from the cassette deck, really. And the record player plays really well. The speakers are still the original speakers, original Sharp speakers. But from 15 to 30, was it worth it? Probably not, because like I said, I had to wait for it to be collected, and I've had much better buys than this, so I won't be buying that again. Next item. This is quite a cool one. Wow, we're going through quite a few, and there's still quite a few left to go. But this is quite a cool one. Now, I started dabbling in like the odd bit of painting at the local auction. Some of them go pretty cheap, and there was a watercolor that was going, and I bought it for pretty cheap money. I don't think I paid more than like £3, £4 for it, and it wasn't in the best of frames. So I took the frame off, and behind the watercolor that I bought, which was of like a bird, there was another watercolor of this ship. So I got two for one basically. So I was pretty happy with that. And as you can see, it's pretty grubby around the edges. You can see like the drawing lines there. So the frame it needs to be framed properly, really. So it was just on this piece of card. I took as many close photos as I could just to give the buyers a good idea of what they were getting. And it's I got an offer of £12. And because it's quite a small, it's 12.5 inches by 7.5 inches. It was easy to ship. It wasn't a big issue to ship. I can't remember if I don't think I got it as a large letter, but still, it was about £2.64 to ship this. And I just took the offer of £12 because it was like a freebie, really, because the item I bought I still have, and I sold that on. So always look behind your paintings that you buy. You never know, there might be a second painting behind there which could be worth some money. You never know. Next item, yet another cap. This one I wish I'd asked a bit more for. It's a nice vintage Fly Virgin Atlantic cap. You can see it's got a really cool pattern graphic on the front there. I think I probably could have gotten a bit more. Is a polyester cotton blend, and overall £15.74, not bad. But I think in hindsight could have gotten a little bit more than I did. Next item, I think I've shown this in a previous video about shoes, but I thought just thought I'd show you again because I did sell it this month and it's really cool. And this is a John Lobb real horn shoe horn, and this went all the way to Japan. You can see the logo, the John Lobb logo, is very faintly written over there, just in the corner there, and that went for 20 quid to Japan. So happy with that. Next item, quite a rarity, but this is a Peter Pan VHS, and the cool thing about this is actually I think this is worth more than like the Disney version. This is the Pickwick animated VHS. You can see that it's not Disney because it looks pretty crappy, really, doesn't it? Um, but yeah, it went for I got this for free. Basically, I got a bunch of these tapes for free, and it sold for £13.64 pence. So I am pleased with that. Also, moving on, another faulty Walkman. This is a Sony WM31, I think. Yeah, WM31 Walkman. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The spools didn't turn, so in need of a basic repair, I'd guess. It did show signs of power. I paid like 50 pence, I think, or something along those lines, and it sold for £15 plus £3 shipping, so 18 quid total. Nice easy sell, so even for something that's not working, made in Japan, faulty, and it still sold, and it sold very quickly. Next item, Olympus Pearl Recorder. I've seen some dictaphones recently or voice recorders that have gone for really silly money, especially if they're new in packaging. This unfortunately isn't one of those high value ones, but I got this again very cheap, like 50p or a quid. And it's an Olympus Pearl Recorder, micro cassette recorder. I tested it out, all works fine, and it sold for 20. I think I took an offer of 22 on this, and plus it had £2.99 shipping on it as well. And another bit of tech. This is a Sony MP3 Walkman. Um, I think I paid £2 for this, and that sold for 22.99. So if you see these around, it's always worth picking these up. They're quite nice. Um, Moving on, VHS. This is quite cool sell. I got this again very cheaply, 4 or 5 quid tops. I think it was probably less than that because looking at it, it actually has no screws on the sides, which is a bit worrying. But I did test it out, and it did have the remote, and it works fine. And it went off with actually next day shipping on it, so it's 36.74, and they actually paid 8.99, not 5.99. They paid 8.99 for next day shipping. So that's gotten off to them fine, and I hope the customers are happy with it. All right, this is pretty cool. I actually picked this up when I was up in Wakefield having a look around in Yorkshire, and I went into one of the local charity shops there, and I picked these up. I paid £5 for them, so I did pay up, but they were really cool. They're old school South Park cufflinks. You can see you got Wendy there, and Stan, and there's Stan looking like he's about to be sick, which was like the normal joke with whenever Wendy saw Stan saw Wendy. You see they're 1999 dated. Stan and Wendy Bath enamel cufflinks. And I paid a fiver, like I said, and they sold for 21. So not amazing, but still a profit is a profit, and it's not the worst profit in the world. Moving on. This is cool. I'm a bit gutted I didn't show you guys, but I got this massive Amiga haul, not last week, but the weekend before. I got this massive haul of Amiga stuff. It was an Amiga 500, which has got the memory upgrade, and it had a ton of games with it as well, an absolute ton of games. And I've started to list them, and I've sold a couple already. And I paid like 30 quid for this whole bundle, which is insane. I was really happy with that. The guy was really happy with it as well, so I paid him 30 quid. Now, the first thing I sold from it was this game, which is Black Crypt. I don't think I got 19. I think I accepted an offer of either 12 or 14 pounds plus 2.99 shipping, so I was happy for that to sell. Next item, camcorders, mini DV camcorders. Mini DV camcorders are worth some decent money if they're by a decent brand. By decent brand, I would recommend sticking with Sony, Panasonic, JVC as the main three, and then potentially looking at things like Sharp and Samsungs if you have to, or if you get them cheap enough. But this is a Panasonic, and I picked this up for a fiver, which is fantastic. It did have a bit of a flaw. In the viewfinder, I tried to photograph it. There's like a nasty black mark, which could be like a fungus or something like that. However, it did have the battery charger and battery, and it worked fine, and the screen worked fine, etc. Anyway, I bought it for a fiver, and it sold. I took an offer of £45, so only £5 off my asking, and plus £2.99 shipping. So very happy with that sale. Next up, yet another cap. I'm loving these caps. This one sold for £16 plus £2.99 shipping. This is just a Desert Springs cap. I didn't really know what it was. It's a bit dirty. It actually had some marks on it, like some stains, like which I couldn't get rid of. Did show them in the photo, and I did say that it's got some marks where. And Desert Springs, I think, is a golf course somewhere in Spain. And someone obviously wanted it, and they paid me £16 plus £3 in shipping. So very happy to see that go. Next item, CD player. I've been selling CD players for a while. They always sell quickly as long as you price them correctly. That's the key. I've had this CD player now on sale for quite a while, and I had it up at £29.99. I'd always get watches, but no one would actually make an offer. And I dropped it to £25 on their offer, and I got an offer of £20, and I thought, yep, screw it, because I only paid like 50p or a pound for it. So I was happy to see that go. Next item. This is kind of annoying because I bought an Escalado for a fiver at my local charity shop, and it was a really old one. And it looked like it would be fine. The box was okay. It was taped up. The contents at first glance looked fine. I got it home and I laid the mat out, and the mat was torn. It had missing pieces, and someone had written poo and shit onto the mat in marker. So, I mean, I didn't want to really sell that in that condition, so I thought I'd make the best of it, and I sold the horses separately, which themselves are in pretty poor condition. As you can see, they've barely got any color left on them. And there was writing on the inside of the packaging for the horses as well. So you can see it's just not in the best condition really. But I still got £15 plus £3 shipping. So from £5, I've still done okay out of that. Next item, a Prinz portable radio. I think I paid like £1 for this. This is an old portable pocket FM medium wave radio made in the Philippines. A good condition for its age. And I took an offer, I think, of £15 for that. Didn't get 21 for it, but I think I got about 15 for that. So that was good. Well, we're getting close to the end now. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, about 12 items to show you that. So anyway, the next item I want to show you is this Lego Cars 2 Classic Mater box. I got this at a local charity shop for £1.50. So that's really cool because overall this charity shop's pretty high prices, like a lot of them are. And the cool thing is, even though the box was damaged, it was still sealed. You can see where the thumb perforation is, where you push it down to access the contents, is still there. Perforation's there, box is a bit damaged, but I went from £1.50 and I sold it for £14 plus £2.99 shipping. So happy with that as well. Now this is a cool sale. I'm very happy with this. This is probably one of my best sales to date. And this is one of the games that I got from that Amiga bundle. So bear in mind the Amiga bundle was 30 quid. I've already sold the game for like 15 or whatever. I didn't get 90 for this, but this is a Christmas Holiday Lemmings. I didn't get 90. I was offered, I think it was 50 or 60, I can't remember. I think I took an offer of £50. I think so. I think I took an offer of £50 plus the shipping. So I'm really happy with that. It's well worth. It's made the whole bundle brilliant. You can see the game really cool. I took the liberty of taking a photo of the menu screen as well because it's quite a valuable game. with Amiga games, because I have the Amiga, I thought it would make sense for me to. I thought it would make sense for me to like at least mention that I've tested to the menu because these old disc games do come up with disc read errors, so it's worth bearing that in mind if you ever do come across an Amiga game. Just because it's on a disc, it doesn't mean it's going to just work. It's not like cartridges. Cartridges are pretty much bomb-proof, but these things do come up with read errors quite often, so bear that in mind. So that was that. Next item, this is Nightmare. Again, an Amiga game. I took an offer on this as well. I think I may have taken, oh God, I can't remember what I took on this. I think I took 15 or 20, I can't remember now. But again, it came with everything. And it actually came with this demo of a game called Moonstone on the Amiga. Now, you're not likely to come across this because it's Amiga stuff. It's really old. Commodore Amiga was like 90s, like before, quite early 90s. This game here, Moonstone, if you ever come across that though, do pick it up because that game on the Amiga sells for a lot of money on eBay. You're looking at around £60 plus, so bear that in mind. Next item to show you, it's a NECA Resident Evil lab coat zombie loose. It doesn't come with its bits and pieces like it would have come with like a crow and something else. I think see it's pretty gruesome looking action figure. Doesn't owe me more than £1 tops, and I sold that. I didn't get 15. I took an offer of a tenner plus the shipping, so I was pretty happy with that. Next item, it's a Horn Brothers metal shoe stretcher shaper, and these actually came in a couple of the shoes that I sold in that recent shoe job lot. So they're like freebies really, and it sold for £12, and I've actually got another one that I'll be putting up soon, so that'll be cool. Moving on now, this is something I bought for a fiver at a local charity shop, and it's really cool. It has got this is the whole all really old Ghostbuster stuff, the real Ghostbusters. You can see it's got the old animations, 1984, 1986 dates on there. It came with the card game. It came with like some braces as well. So it was like a little set that they'd already made up. So I picked it up for a fiver. I stuck it up for quite high money. I think £80 at one point. I kept on dropping it, dropped it to 60, and I got an offer of 40, which I was happy to take because I was like, "Wow, screw it! I want to get rid of it." I paid five. I want to get some money out of it, and it's going over to the US in the global shipping program. Next item. Now, this is probably one of my favorite sales. This is a DHL cap. I bought this again as part of that cap lot, and it was a vintage Worldwide Express DHL cap. I kind of took a gamble on the price really, but I thought, why not try it because the caps were selling pretty well. So I thought to myself, why not just put a high price up for it? Put it up at 31.49 plus 2.99 shipping, and it sold. So really happy, really happy with that. So nice vintage baseball cap, worth keeping an eye out for things like that. Next item I want to show you is the TIAC V377 stereo cassette deck. I took an offer of £23 plus the £5.99 shipping. I paid, I think, a fiver for it. So nice simple sale. I tested it out, worked fine. TIAC, this isn't like a high-end deck. It's just a single tape deck. It's got no specific awesome tech on it, and it's not made in Japan or anything. So I'm happy to see that go. Next item was a Polaroid that I picked up from the boot fair for £4. Sold it for £44.99 plus £2.99 shipping. So even though it's a vintage one, you'll find that it's always the Polaroids which take the 600 series film, which go for more money. So nice little flip there. Paid for, sold it for 45. Next item, we're down to our last three sales now, guys. So thank you for sticking with me if you've waited this long. This is an Ion tape to PC USB audio cassette archiver. So basically it's a device that you hook up to your computer and you can copy from your tapes directly onto your computer because it's got a USB connection on the back, or you can use it as part of your stereo separate system as well. And I picked this up at a local boot fair, local charity shop for £10. It looked new. The box is faded, but the contents were like all sealed. It really hadn't been used. I think it had just been taken out to be pat tested, which is great for me. And sold it for £80 plus 5.99 shipping. Actually, I think the guy paid 8.99 for the next day, so it worked out to be an £88 sale total from a £10 spend. So really happy with that as well. Here's another sale that I was quite surprised with. I had these tapes for free, and I've had them for ages. 12 Disney films I'd bundled together, Disney VHSs. I was asking 16.99 with free shipping. Someone paid me 16.99 and 8.99 for next day shipping. So I'm happy that they got their VHS tapes really quickly, and that's that. And finally, this is something that I originally picked up off of Nick Hill's channel, and it's a Thomas the Tank Engine take and play 3D storage case. These are just designed to carry around the little Thomas Tank Engine models. I think I paid £1 and sold it for 20. So this is like a nice little pickup. If you ever see these, definitely pick them up because they do give you pretty decent value. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this stream. It's been quite a long stream. I appreciate that. It's been quite a laborious stream in a way. So I'm sorry for making it drag on so long. I don't know how long. It's been 36 minutes. So yeah, it's quite a long time. But I hope you found that talking about the items or seeing me talking about the items and seeing the items and the prices I'm selling them for useful. If you do have any questions or comments about the items that I'm selling, leave them in the comment section below, and I'm more than happy to read all comments and answer as many as I can. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. That's much appreciated, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.